I'm here this afternoon with Amber, and we're going to talk about budgeting. Budgeting in a cost of living crisis. So we're at the Money Matters Café in the town hall. So we're here every Thursday afternoon between 2 and 4. And today's topic, as I said, budgeting in a cost of living crisis. Next week we're going to be talking about building a savings habit. Okay, so Amber, the idea of budgeting is really the foundation of all of your financial planning, because you can't really make plans until you know where you stand. So the idea of doing a budget, it can be interesting, it can reveal all sorts of things, so you shouldn't think of it too much as a chore. But the best way of going about it is to gather some information together before you start. So maybe have a look at your bank statement, maybe over a couple of bank statements if you can, just to build up a picture. And if you really get into it, the idea of keeping a money diary is a really good idea. So just keep, maybe over a week, just keep a track of everything you spend, whether you put it on a card, whether you use your phone, or whether it's something that automatically goes out of your bank account, like a standing order or a direct debit, or if you use good old-fashioned cash, just keep track of everything you spend for a week. It's a bit like, you probably don't have to, but when I'm trying to lose weight, I keep track of everything I eat, maybe over a week, and then that gives me a real proper idea of what I'm eating. And in the same way, if you keep track of absolutely everything you spend, it might reveal some things that you think, oh yes, I've forgotten to buy a coffee every day on my way to work, or just everything that's going out of your account. Yeah. Once you've done that, once you've done some data gathering, I suppose, to start off with, so gather your bank statements together, keep a money diary if you want to, but the more accurate you can make the data that you're putting into a budget planner, then the better the results are that come out at the end. There are quite a few budget planners available free online. The one I particularly like is the one that Martin Lewis has created, the Money Saving Expert. A lot of information has gone into this, and it's really helpful because all the way along it will give you tips for how you might go about saving some money as well while you're filling it out. Okay, so for those of you who might be watching, if you don't have access to a website, maybe you're just looking at us on your phone, so always, if you prefer, please feel free to come in to us at the Money Matters Café, because we've got a good old-fashioned paper-based version of a budget planner, so we can help you go through the process of building a budget if you'd rather do it face-to-face rather than doing it with a computer. But let's have a look, Amber, at what Martin Lewis has developed on his Money Saving Expert site. Yeah, the problem with most budgets is that they don't work. If you just look at a typical month, then there's no typical month. Certainly in the run-up to Christmas, people will be finding that in the month before Christmas, they're probably spending a lot of money on Christmas. So what Martin Lewis has suggested is that annual expenditure, you portion it out through the months of a year. So if you were going to spend your annual holiday only in July, you probably find you couldn't afford it. But if you spread it out through the year, then it makes it much more manageable. So he's built this budget planner tool. So as he says, yes, as I've just mentioned, gather statements and receipts, credit card statements, pension contributions that you might be making, one-off spends that you're planning on making. So gather all of the information together first, then fill in the budget planner spreadsheet. Be 100% honest when you're filling it out, and it's better to guess, if you're going to guess on a higher amount rather than a lower amount. And then at the end of it, this tool is going to tell you whether you're spending more than you're earning, or whether you're earning more than you're spending. So that's the goal, I suppose, to always have a little bit of leeway every month, so that you're getting more in than you're spending. And if that's the case, then next week's talk is going to be really useful, because then you might be able to start building up a savings habit with the surplus. So let's have a look on at that budget planner spreadsheet. Okay, so we've got an online version, and we can print out a version as well. So again, if someone comes into the Money Matters Café, we can always print out a version of the budget for you to take away and fill out at home. Okay, so let's have a look at the spreadsheet. Okay, so it's a really big spreadsheet, but hopefully it's relatively easy to fill out. So it tells us to fill out the information either on a weekly column, or a monthly column, or an annual column. So the first stage is getting started, and then the next page on the next spreadsheet is to fill out what you earn. So if you're employed, or if you're on benefits. So it depends on how often you're paid, whether you're paid on a weekly basis, or a monthly basis, or a yearly basis. Whether you get any income from savings or investments. Whether you're on a pension, I know you're too young for that. Any benefits that you might get, so tax credits, child tax credits, income support, universal credit, any gifts that you get from family and friends, so all of your income from whatever source that it's coming from. And you can even fill out other income sources as well. So the next sheet is what do you spend? So the big things, it starts with the big things, so your mortgage or rent, any insurance that you pay on your property, any bank account fees that you pay, the cost of any overdraft that you might have, your council tax, water rates or meter, gas and electricity, they're really big at the moment. And you'll notice in this next column here, it's got money saving articles. So how you might see if you can reduce your council tax, for example, or how you might reduce your water rates. So other forms of fuel, so oil, household maintenance that you spend on, garden maintenance, cleaning products. So the first section in blue, all about your home. Then it will come up with a total for the amount that you spend on your home. Then other forms of insurance in the next section. So mortgage payment protection, pet insurance, travel insurance, boiler cover. Eats, drinks and smokes is the next section. So food and household shopping, eating out, coffee, sandwiches and snacks, they all build up. Drinks when you're in the home, drinks when you're out, if you smoke, meals at work. Often people forget when they're going out and buying lunch. And then motoring, public transport in the next section. And then the cost of borrowing money, so card and loan repayments that you're making.
So this spreadsheet really does cover everything.
Pretty much everything. Really, really very detailed. And I suppose so having gone through all of these sections, so it really does make you think about all of the different things that you might be spending on. So look in your bank statements, because you'll be able to find information from there. If you've done a spending diary, you'll be able to find information from there. Otherwise, it's just really thinking about, well, what am I spending on? So it will come out with a figure at the end. The aim is to try and make sure that you're spending less than you're getting in. But if it's the other way around, if you're spending more than you're getting in on a regular basis, then you've got to do the hard work of thinking about, well, how can I reduce it? So all of the articles are really useful in giving you tips and tricks on how you might reduce the amount of spending. But then you get to the more painful, I suppose, reduction in your spending, because you've got to think about, well, what can I live without?
Yeah.
So we talk about essential expenditure and discretionary expenditure. So the discretionary expenditure is the nice to have stuff. Are there magazine subscriptions that you can cancel? Is there a gym membership on something that you're not actually using? Can you cancel that? And then, well, can I not have my hair done? Can I not buy new clothes? Are there other things that you can reduce on? And that becomes really quite difficult if you're living in a household with other people, because your priorities might not be the same as your other family members.
Yeah.
So one thing that I've thought about doing is getting a bowl and writing all of the discretionary expenditure, the nice to have expenditure, writing them down on a bit of paper, putting them in your glass bowl, and then each family member picking one of these items out, and then together around the table you can work out, well, how will we put these in an order? Yeah. So as a family come to a decision about how you prioritise these nice to have expenditures. And it really does help if you've got children in your household. It really does help to bring them into the conversation. They will know if the family's struggling with money, and to have a talk about it, an age-appropriate talk about it, I think really does help, if you can bring them into that conversation, so that together you're coming up with a way forward of how can we reduce our expenditure so that we get to that aim of spending hopefully slightly less than you're getting in as a household. It's a really good tool. If you don't get on with that one, another useful one to look at is on the Money Helper website. So the government have set up the Money and Pension Service MAPS. And they have a Money Helper website, which again has a tool that will lead you through the process of building a budget. Because the idea of spending more than you're getting in each month, at the moment, you might be having to do it, but it's really not sustainable in the long term. If you're every month spending more than you're getting in, you're very quickly going to get into an unmanageable debt spiral where you're having to borrow money, and always borrowing money has a cost associated with it. So hopefully you found that useful, and if you have a go with the budget planner, let me know how you get on.
I will. Thank you very much for showing it to me. It's very useful.
Great.
Something also that I would just like to mention is that I've actually uploaded the other live videos onto the Frome Town Council YouTube channel. So if you would like to know any more information about any of the other talks that we've had, so last week we were talking about pensions.
Oh, that's right.
We
Pension
talked about loans and how to avoid loan scams and that kind of thing. So if you would like to watch those, then please go to the Frome Town Council YouTube channel, because all of the videos will be up there.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.